Now then, when we were discussing migrants a few moments ago, I suggested that the British state might have had an inflated sense of its own potency. And that's certainly the case when we turn to Gaza, where the killing goes on. The Gaza Health Authority, which, yes, is no doubt Hamas-controlled or influenced, says that 33 people, including 12 children, have died from malnutrition in the past 48 hours. While the United Nations Relief Agency calls the Israeli-backed private food distribution scheme there a sadistic death trap. The Foreign Secretary, David Lammy, a thoroughly decent man, says he is sickened by what's going on and he's threatening further actions unless there is a change in Israel's behaviour. As if that's going to happen. So far, it's all been as effective as shouting at the clouds to make the rain stop. Isn't there anything more we can be doing on arms, on trade? I don't know. Let's talk now to Emily Thornberry, Chair of the Foreign Affairs Select Committee. Emily, watching David Lammy being questioned about this, you could see the pain in his face. You could see the embarrassment in his face. He would love to be doing more than we're doing. Is there really more is there not more we can do?
I think if we take the trouble is people see the images on television and they write to their MPs and they say, well, what are you going to do about this? What can you do about this? And then the MPs go to the government and go, well, what are you going to do about this? You've got to do something about it. And we want to be able to do something, and Israel is an ally, but they don't listen to what we say.
They're completely ignoring us.
They don't listen. And that we're not used to.
Is there an element of sort of hubris here in Britain that we assume that when Britain stands up and says don't do this or do this, other countries listen? And maybe that's out of date. Maybe they just don't care about us anymore.
No, I don't think that's right. I think that on the whole, there is a point in diplomacy and in saying what you think and speaking to your friends and saying, look, speaking as a friend, I think this is the wrong thing to do. Can we help you on this? You need to find another way. There is a way out of this. Let's work on this together. That is how international politics works. Sometimes, and perhaps more these days, you get the big men who say, I don't need to listen to anyone, I can just go my own way. But I don't think that that will necessarily end well. I think it's one of the reasons why we are now working more obviously with other countries. So yesterday Israel was called out not just by Britain, but by Britain plus another 27, I think it was.
27 countries, that's right.
But almost by return of post, Israel put out a statement on social media going, well, we don't agree with any of that. You're divorced from reality. We're not paying any attention to what all of those countries now say.
We've tried sanctioning individuals, and that's had no effect at all. But Europe, including Britain in this case, is a huge trading partner still for Israel. Is there more we could be doing or should be doing in terms of trade embargoes?
So I think the question is actually more urgent than that. I think the question is, what are we going to do now? How do we stop these children from either starving to death or being shot? Huge numbers of people being killed in Gaza. The way in which Israel is now attacking the one area that has not been attacked until now, the humanitarian zone, where they have a desalination plant, where they will be relying on it for water. Really, Israel needs to be pulled back from the brink. So I think the question is, how do we stop this?
How do we get their attention? How do we get them to listen to us? How do we get them to change?
What I would say is you have to think about where the pressure point is. So on the 27th of July, the Israeli parliament will rise. And so at that point, Netanyahu can kind of do what he wants without his government falling. So there is a golden opportunity in a way, at least in the short term, until the Israeli parliament comes back. So that may be a time when he might be persuaded to have a ceasefire without being worried that the even further right than him of his government would pull the plug on his government. So I think that is the time for Donald Trump, and it's only Donald Trump that he listens to. Remember, there were planes on the way to Iran that got turned round in the air because Donald Trump said turn the planes round. So he really is the only one that he listens to. I think Donald Trump has to be the one who says, stop now. Stop now. And you have to. There has to be a ceasefire now. And I think that the only influence that we can really have on Netanyahu is via Trump. And Trump is coming to play golf. So what I would suggest strongly is that I appreciate that Keir Starmer has a lot of things he may want to talk to the President of the United States about, but I would ask that some of our political capital be used in asking Trump to speak to Netanyahu to get him to stop this, because we can't witness this anymore. It has to stop.
Emily Thornberry, thank you very much indeed.
Not at all.